There's always a lot of things swirling. I don't see what the big deal is. I don't see the point of anyone getting worked up over what's normal. Um, I know it's a sad commentary that so many things are occurring and it's causing drama across the planet in large scale, but it yet still feels normal. Well, all right, be that as it may. As I said before, I really don't see how Mamlaka all-Salt is going to get what they're looking for. They're not going to get a sustained demand for uh, justification of oil price, quote unquote, being over $100, as some would say, in worthless fiat or digital worthless fiat. Um, the demand is dropping. There's more EVs, as we spoke about previously, less demand for oil. And uh, as things stand, that's the least of the things I'm looking at. Honestly, I feel for our kith and kindred and the Kushite mountain range west. Um, and I feel for our kith and kindred in the Kushite mountain range east. One of them, well, in the west, as they would say, lithium is their thing. Um, Increasingly, you're hearing folks speak to the issue of there's going to be a decrease in demand for lithium. Lithium cobalt batteries are still all the rage for now. I still say that the way parties have gone about their electric vessels is inherently and purposely inefficient. Um, they figure if they have folks to use that typical battery system and it goes down after 4 Earth years, you're not going to spend the equivalent of 11,000 in worthless paper or worthless digital to replace the battery pack. He's going to acquire a new vessel, which is to the advantage of the manufacturers. Well, I know that in the Kushite Mountain Range West, they would love to get the resources as a result of trading lithium on the markets. Just like I spoke about before with corporate, quote unquote, Namibia coming online soon with the deal they made with Shell and the Qataris regarding the licensing for a particular field that has been found to produce a large amount. They figure they'll have it online soon and they'll be getting about 53 billion in worthless paper per year in the value added taxes and the licensing fees, the royalties, should I say. Um, they're pumping less oil, but they're still pumping oil out of Central Amexem. Um, Pemex is going through fires and other carrying on. However, they're still a player. Guancile is coming on, pumping more and more oil, and they're going to be pumping 30% more within the next 2 Earth years. We spoke about that. Bunkering is still a thing in the Omotal district, which is so-called Nigeria. It's killing our folks over there. And at the same time, uh, they have they've seen a few folks get rich over there. The masses are still waiting for infrastructure to be put in place, but we all know the reality of that. If they were going to do it, they'd be doing it now. They won't come out and say it. Uh, Londinium still pulls the strings, just like Paris still pulls many strings, and Brussels pulls many strings across that particular continent. The youth over there have had enough, and it's got to stop. Same way, the debt trap representative Beijing are finding resistance left and right across the mother continent. Coup after coup after coup after coup has been happening over there, largely because of the deals that were made by those who supposedly had some level of power that allowed corporate China to get in there in the way that they did. They took their bribes, they lined their pockets, and they let so-called China come in and say, all right, we're going to do all this stuff. We won't hire anyone local from your lands. There'll be all our folks doing all the work, and we're going to act like jerks while we're on your land. And we're going to charge you 4% interest, which is twice the normal interest rate. And we'll debt trap you, and then we'll try to seize assets when you can't pay, i.e. your ports, your airports, mines, and things of this nature. Neo-colonists, basically. And they're being called out for it. And in certain cases, they've been coups, and they've been voted out after the coup. The agreements made with so-called China, the BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, which is going down in flames. In the North-Amexem, Akith and Kindred, as a rule, are generally just stunned like deers in headlights right now. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what to do. You put any information in their face, and they get numb. They freeze. Their minds are blown. And they figure there's nothing they can do. They just take the chains, the spiritual, mental, and physical chains, and accept them. They don't even resist. Many of them took the jab without even a fight. So at that point, that emboldened the colonizing hostiles and their melanated puppets, and they're going all in now, pushing for their quote-unquote payment system and their quote-unquote digital worthless paper in the form of what they call digital fiat, so-called digital central bank, whatever they're calling their nonsense. Hackable computer code susceptible to an EMP blast that requires electricity. Yeah, that nonsense. Again, you cannot convey title of anything that you're acquiring when substance is not involved. Then you have the other geniuses that will tell you, oh, well, we're just going to use crypto. They're phasing crypto out. They're getting rid of their competition. And crypto and digital currencies, as they're alleged to be, both so-called digital currencies and so-called crypto require electricity. They're dependent on not being hacked. And other things. Ultimately, they all lead to the same location, though. The ability to artificially create inflation exists, or deflation, or hyperinflation. They're using AI now on the markets that they use to entice folks. Pretty soon, the AI is going to act the fool big time. And when it does, it's going to be what they call the rise of the machines in real life. And parties are for it. I said before, many are going to line up and beg and plead to be barcoded and microchipped. And they're going to do it without a fight. That's where many folks are. We're not here to convince folks, and we're not here to stop what the colonizing hostiles are doing. We are going to do what we've always done. Make sure we survive on our own terms. We don't need them for anything. Not to play their games. None of their nonsense. They don't like folks that think for themselves. Privacy, they don't want folks to have that. Protections, they don't want folks to have that. Rights, they don't want folks to have that. Liberty and freedom, they definitely don't want folks to have that. And folks are accepting that, left and right. They're saying that they're not, and their actions tell you a different story. And the evidence does not lie. So, folks are going to do what they're going to do. They are where they are in their minds. We're not in the convincing business. Folks are either going to accept their chains or work till they're free of them. There is no middle ground. There's no in between. It is what it is, can't be what it's not.